I had some technical issues there,
Right now, it's not high motion. High motion really is just
but I
one of
think I
those
fixed it.
cuts again. That's why she's probably going to be very, very bored. There's no banner yet, but there will be one banner coming up. Like here, high motion is one of the most bored. It's the second most bored. But good for the basic 100 players, I understand. Right? Because honestly, there's a lot of things and a lot of RNG in every single run. So sometimes you just need to hit in 3 runs because you can't be bothered anymore. Just take the smart button. Right? Also, it's all the other niche cards that people are borrowing because they just have no choice, right? You might be wondering, hey, why are you borrowing Street? Why are you borrowing Rush Hour? Because sometimes they don't have enough cards, they don't have stamina, sparks to hit the stamina, so they must go and take this kind of option. So there's really no choice for some of these people. You have to understand that all these people here all have different levels of decks, all have different levels of powers. Right? So don't be telling people, hey, you should go for this amount of it, when actually their power and stamina already is so shit. Right? It's really damn shit. So just don't tell them to go for it. Because as much as we want to tell them to go for it, they really can't go for it. Right? I've been here before. So it is really a luxury step for all these people. Okay, moving on, we have round one and round two only now. For round one, you can see here, there's a lot of free people to meet up, so you'll be able to get a very, very nice video here. Should be very easy going into your day round. Right, very, very easy. Okay, guys. All this here, it was the victory of Science Suka, Nonsense Scheme like Shadow. Well, recap and then double dominant strategies. Same sky, Esmaru, Maneuver Global, nice stage for some of the most big options over here. Right, Lower is a paid unit and a gambler, so basically not a lot of you people will be fully controlled because of recaps coming up and this. Right, so that's that for. Okay, well, this one. Hey, Josie! Hey, Josie! Here we go. Bloody terrific, to be honest, mate. I spent some time at the gym. The doctor's watched deodorant. Hold on. I should have been sweating, but squash works like a charm. Hey, give this a try, mate. One of you guys has requested me on making the tier list for the with version of SR cards, and today we'll be looking at it. We'll be looking at what each card is strong at, and which with card you should use for each certain specific scenario. Before I go into each specific with card, here is the tier list for the with support card. Pretty much every with card is viable except for Equinodictus. Each card has areas where they excel at. For example, Agnes Apiot is really good for medium race rank, but this tier list should be an accurate representation of the current SR with cards. A big disclaimer before I start explaining these cards in depth, we'll assume that all the cards are at MLB to make it fair and simpler. We'll also not discuss too much about specialty priority because most of the WIT card has an average of 35 to 50 specialty priority anyways, so it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, now let's dive in deeper into each card and their usage. Starting off with Kokokitaru. This card is just straight up the best SR with card in the game, even more so that it has a scenario link in the Unity Cup.
Pretty much in almost every deck that runs with, you will see this card. The strongest point of this card is the initial friendship gauge. This card has an initial 40 friendship gauge, which is the highest among all Vivid cards. The only other card that has the same initial friendship gauge as this card is Thyro Scarlet. Initial friendship gauge is also really good for the Unity Cup scenario, simply because of the fact that in Unity Cup, you are very energy hungry because of these daily bombs. Getting it to orange faster means you get energy back when you click the rainbow trainings, and in return, this also lets you click more training. Oh, and the training effect? Yes, this card has the highest friendship bonus and move effect out of all the mid cards. It even has 5% training effectiveness on top of it. Here's a simple comparison of a single rainbow with training between a couple of SR with cards. It has the higher width given per training with 20 width on a single click out of all the SR with cards. This card is just that busted and good. The only downside of this card is the lack of race bonus. It doesn't have any race bonus, otherwise this card is just the SR with card and it's perfect even for the Alhara scenario. Also, this card doesn't really have any good hints beside late surgery corners, so you are running this card usually purely for the training effects and right-handed hints. One more reason why this card is also really good is because it has a right-handed guaranteed hint on the event chain. And right-handed is actually a really sought after green hints. If you look into the future CMs, the amount of right-handed track is way more than the left-handed tracks. If you get unlucky though on the second event chain, you can eat a minus 20 energy from the chain event, but you are still given the right-handed hints regardless, so I don't think it's really that bad. This card can also fit even in your deck if you do not need the right-handed from the event, because the other option of the second chain event gives you 45 skill points, which is equivalent to about 1 G2 or G3 races, and if you think about it, that's really crazy. And there's also a reason why it is recommended to put your SR stone on this card if you want a really good bit card for the Unity scenario. Lemon Scarlet is a really strong card for the same reason as Fukukitaru. Also, if you have noticed, in the past, all the top team trial whales were using Daiwa Scarlet and Fukukitaru with card in the deck on the URA finale base. Again, the reason this card is on the S tier is because of the high initial friendship gauge. High friendship gauge means it allows you to get with your card faster, click more training. If you have noticed, in the past, all the top team trial whales were using Daiwa Scarlet and Fukukitaru with card in the deck on the URA finale base. Again, the reason this card is on the S tier is because of the high initial friendship gauge. High friendship gauge means it allows you to get with your card faster, click more training, and get higher stats overall. This card is also the second highest card on the friendship bonus and mood effect out of all the good cards, just behind Fukukitaru card. So even without any training effectiveness, it still performed better than some other bit cards on Rainbow Flakes. The chain event and random event from this card is also pretty good. It has a lot of move up and energy to help your career runs. I think the only drawback of this card is that the hints from the chain event is pretty bad. Tactical Tweak is a skill that you pretty much will never take, and the hint from this card itself is pretty okay, specifically for face chasers. And there are a couple of good speed skills, but that's about it. This Tachyon is a must-get card if you are building a medium distance Uma. This card takes priority over most of the other mid cards in the medium distance deck. Up tempo, medium distance corner, medium distance straight are all good speed skills that you basically want for your medium distance Uma. This card also has SP bonus on top of it. As you all know, the reason cards like Sweep Tosho is good is because it also has an SP bonus. This means every training click with Agnes Tachyon inside, you get plus 1 skill point more. This will let you pick up more skills at the end of the career. One good feature from this card is also it has a really high race bonus. Having 10% race bonus helps to cover race bonus in the deck if you run a certain cards like Fukukitaru that doesn't have any race bonus. On the training effect side, This card is about average and it has about the same as most of the other bit card. There's also really nothing going on the chain and random event side of Agnes. This card provides just a little bit of stats and skill point, but none of the event chains has desirable hits. The main purpose you want to run this card is solely for the purpose of the skill point bonus and medium distance hint that this card provides. Next on the list we have Marvelous Sunday. If I have to describe Marvelous Sunday in one sentence, Marvelous Sunday is a speed skill hint card. I could totally just end this card section with that one liner. This card has an average training effect and also about the same as pretty much any other with cards. It doesn't have a high training effect. It also doesn't have SP bonus like Agnes, but the thing you want from this card is the speed skill hints that this card provides. Starting with adapt, ramp up, and head high, three of these skills are pretty much middle leg speed skill that you want on every Uma that you run.
All right, we have to work with marketing, IT, and ops.
Working across teams is tough. Asana helps you handle it. AI can spot roadblocks, so everything stays on track. That's how work gets handled. That's Asana.
We are trying really hard to get you Reese's peanut butter cups, but there is only so much we can do here. You're gonna have to meet us halfway. Well, the whole way, actually. And don't stop there. Try caramel big cup. We got you covered, Bumblebee!
Looking for a new career with growth opportunities, competitive wages, and benefits? Cheap Buildings in Lancaster, South Carolina wants you. Our family-owned company is seeking hard-working team members. Head to southcarolina.cheapbuildings.com to learn more.
New year, new look for a home you love. At Queen City Home Store, we have everything you need for every room in your home. Create a new look that brings out the new you in a home you'll love all year long. Find your style at a Queen City Home Store near you or at queencityonline.com.
This card also provides +2 hint levels, meaning the hints that come from this card is also always +3 hint levels, so that cuts off a lot of SP needed to get these skills. This card also has a high race bonus at 10%, the same as Agnes, so it's a nice filler card to be paired with Fukukitaru if you need that race bonus. The chain event from this card only provides you with a little bit of stats. All the good events are in the random events, where it provides you with energies and mood. This card is only really strong for the stronger people who want to build Uma that stacks middle X skill. It is a pretty much universal card solely used for the purpose of the hints it provides. If you cannot take benefits of the middle X skills, it is better to run other with cards. Let's talk about Mejurodover. Do you know the reason why Pico is one of the best SSR speed card despite missing mood bonus on its effect? Because Pico has a crazy high 20% training effectiveness. And what does Mejurodover have in common? It also have 15% training effectiveness. This means that this card is a really strong roaming support card, and it also has a very strong training click wherever she lands. This card tops every other wit card on every training it lands outside of wit. Even on wit training itself, it still rivals Matikane high good training effects. The drawback is this card doesn't have any specialty priority, so most of the time this card will just wander into every training. All of Mejurodover's chain event is also really good. It gives you energy and you can choose between mood if it's needed. This random chain event here is also very OP. It gives you 45 skill points in a single click, and that's equivalent to a race basically. Mejurodover also gives you Slick Searchin on her chain event, and some good hints for the medium distance at level 3, like up tempo and steadfast. I really like to fit this card in a with mixing deck on a late surger with Asian Flash and Nice Nature because they simply all give back energy on their event chain, which makes it easier for these scenario runs. Try to spot the difference between the effects of Nice Nature and Mejurodover. Yes, there's almost none. Both of this card is almost identical aside from the hidden levels and habit recovery that Dover provides. So the training effects are the same as with Dover. It provides the highest training effect across all training. This card is also a roaming support card and serves the same purpose as Mejurodover. The best feature from this card is the chain event. You can get a huge amount of 20 bone gauge on her first event chain. And if you hit this really early on in the career, it speeds up your initial bond gauge to orange faster by a lot. Unfortunately, out of all the hints that this card provides, none of them are really good to take and most of it are useless. The only good hints this card provides is run up from the random events. Major Arden is a decent weak card. This card main specialty is for Page Chaser and its left-handed hints. The main reason you would want to run this card is of course for the left-handed hints. But as I have mentioned before, since future CMs will have more right-handed than left-handed, you will see Fukukitaru more in the deck than this card. This card also has a very high hint level bonus at +3 and an insane amount of hint frequency bonus sitting at 70. Getting level 4 hints on Page Chaser corner and left-handed is really game-changing if you want to double circle the skills. The training effect of this card is actually slightly better than cards like Fujikiseki and Marvelous Sunday due to its additional 5% training effectiveness. One more thing I really love from this card is this chain event right here. Getting 30 energy and a moon up is very huge in energy hungry scenario like the Unity Cup. Unfortunately, this card also suffers the same fate as Fukukitaru, such that it doesn't have any race bonus. So you need to fill the gap of this with the other cards in the deck. Arguably, on the tier list, this card will be nearly pushing the A tier, but since the demand for left-handed is lower, I rated this card a bit lower. Caesar Corner is nice, but it isn't really worth justifying to run this card just for that hint. Picking when to run this card is really simple. If the course is right-handed, then run full Kitaruit card. If the course is left-handed, then run Measure Arden card. For the Fujikiseki card, we have used this card for one specific CM. If you can remember, it was the CM3 Cancer Cup. This card's main purpose is for its Summer Runner and Mount Course hint. This card also gives you +2 hints level on the hint click, meaning getting level 3 Summer Runner and Mount Corners can save you a lot of skill points. This card is also just purely ran for the purpose of a hint card. The training effect of this card actually is the lowest baseline out of all the weak cards in the game. So compared to other weak cards, it has the worst training effect. It has an SP bonus in her kit to cover this up, but if you want to run this card for the SP bonus, simply Agnes Tahyong does the same, but it is a better card. Here is the comparison of Agnes Tahyong training effect and Fujikiseki's. Agnes just clears up this card training wise. This is a really specific niche with card for the long distance and summer type race courses, otherwise it won't see any use in your deck slot. At a single glance, Econo Victus card seems really good. It has a good training effect, it has 10% training effectiveness, it also has SP bonus, and 55 specialty priority, which is the highest among all the WIT card. Basically everything you want on a WIT card, right? But this card is actually the worst WIT card in the game. The card is missing with Friendship Recovery. Do you know the reason why the cards are fitted in the deck or is heavily utilized in the maxing deck? The main purpose is so you get energy back when clicking rainbow trainings with it. And with this, you can click more trainings and avoid pressing the S button. This card provides 0 energy recovery and rainbow click, meaning you only get the base recovery click on with, and it just defeats the whole purpose of running with card in the first place. And with that, please just avoid using this card in the deck, and it's not a good win card. That's basically it for all the XR bit cards. There's a little quick summary for the use case that I believe will help everyone when choosing their win cards for the Unity scenario. Fukitaru is always an auto slot in almost every deck. This card is not only strong because the fast friendship gauge, but also has scenario link in Unity Cup and also have partly right-handed. Agnes Tahyong is always the slot in when you want to train for medium distance racetrack. This card is just too good with the SP bonus and medium hints. Major Arden is used for tracks with left-handed. Fujikiseki is for long distance racetrack and summer runner. And if you love roaming supports, then you can pick Nice Nature and Rover. If you want little left hints, grab Marvelous Sunday. If you also want to take a look at the other tier list for this speed card that I made, I also link it in the description below. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
When you have
Do you think you know how to play Umamasume? Pretty Derby? Well, what if I told you that you were wrong? On the surface, Umamasume is a very simple game. Pick the horse, you pick your parents, you pick the cards, and then you start training. Once you start training, you train to win all your races. You win all your races, and then
One bag, infinite possibilities. Kate Spade.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story.
then you're done. You beat the game. However, there's a little bit of a trick here. For most people, beating the game the first time is actually very impossible to do. They don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're training. But the game gives us advice on how to do the game right at the start. You see, on the home page towards the bottom left, there's a rotating banner with information. And over here, you can find a guide called Sakura Bakshino's Advice. Upon clicking this banner, it sends you to YouTube, where there's a whole playlist with 8 videos on how to beat the game. And today, we're going to be taking a look at beating Umamasume the way Cygames intended it. Okay, today we're going to be playing Umamasume using the Sakura Bakshino guide, Bakshino Advice. This is the comprehensive guide put together by Cygames for how to play the game and how to best navigate. So in the first, well, it's kind of interesting because this thing, it's sort of all over the place. The guide doesn't necessarily tell you what to do, like in order, but it just kind of gives you little bits of advice as to how to play the game. It, for some reason, it ends with the sparks, which is the first thing that you do in the game. But according to the game's suggestion, you should be going for the highest sparks that you can get. Talk about affinity at all. So we're just going to ignore this, and we're going to say, well, we have high speed here on this one, and white skills across the board. So we're throwing that one in there. They don't tell you anything about how to borrow, so we're not going to borrow anybody here. Instead, we're just going to find another one that's like really high, and we're not going to scroll far for these because, well, it said to just use the highest, and these are the highest across the board. This is looking terrible, especially for this one. Another interesting tidbit is that when it comes to selecting your support cards, the guide is very specific on what it tells you to select. It says you should start with 3 speed and 3 power cards. Honestly, we have speed, power, and stamina sparks, so I think that that's perfectly fine. However, the guide also does make a note on next video in the series that you should also use a power card to reduce your training failure. So we're going to just load up our 3 speed and 3 power. Now in this case, we're going to use Get Us on Black anyway because that's just the speed card to use. Okay, and picking the rest of our deck here, it looks very similar to the summer special week video that I did. Honestly, wait, I need to see if I have a better vodka. Vodka does have late surger skills, which is just the reason why we're going to use vodka as a power card. I don't think that there's a better one. How much is this? I think that's the only one. But anyway, this is essentially the type of deck that the game would want you to take. We're just going to run with it. We're just going to run with it. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What is the very first thing that you should do on the first turn of training on Umamasume? Is the answer A, speed training, B, stamina training, C, power training, or D, weight training? The real answer is none of the above.
None of the follow wherever the trainees are or your team is.
That has a lot of friends on it, and to
Yep,
always hit those. So
there it is.
we're just going to always hit those. Fun fact too is that we did bring Tazna, who on the first training that we do with her, he's gonna bring our mood up, but that's not gonna matter because, well, we already brought it up.
Well, I want to do a run with Tazuna and Rico because if Tazuna brings up your mood one whenever you hit her, Rico does the exact same thing. So you can go from your normal mood to your great mood just by having those two in your deck, and then I'll figure out the rest. 271 skill points by the first race. Usually I got 100 less.
So we'll take the 6%. Odds are in our favor for that. And we're never really told to rest during any of this, which I think is a very interesting fact. I think they probably just assume that, resting is something that somebody's going to do. But as we know, if the odds are against us, we should probably just go for it anyway. Wow, the odds were really against us there, and we lost out on 30 total stats. Yeah, well, now we have to do the other thing where they say to always keep your mood good or above. Well, we're back at good. Now, of course, this time, if I keep doing this and just constantly failing training, we're not going to get very far with this.
Let's see.
Having Tosca on training is very helpful, but we're gonna worry about that
Okay.
towards the end.
We're gonna give this
now,
top
we'll
one.
keep taking
We're
the
gonna lose
friendship
10
training,
energy,
we'll
gain
rest,
30
and
speed,
just kind of run some things
and
like how
10
you
guts.
normally would. Honestly, the tips for the most part are fairly decent. There's only a few that I think are a little strange, but aside from that, I think we're actually
Ah, crap. I meant the race right
now
here.
it's time for the main thing. So when it
I
comes
meant the race
to
right here
doing a race,
because of the,
the game
what you
does
call it.
tell us, or well, Sci Games tells us that we should take
It's
a look
okay.
at our aptitudes and our style. Now here, obviously, everything's
Got
going to be
some
fine.
ease in
The game
there.
kind of just defaults
So
to
technically,
maybe
two of those
to
should be
have
ease.
you in a spot where your aptitudes are good and your style is just already selected between like what your Uma would typically do based on their.
Let me see some. Just curious. 2 circles, 2 triangles. Not gonna take that risk.
Keep our animal for a lifetime if a patient takes the proper preventive measures. I choose new clinical enamel strength because there's clinical evidence to support that it does strengthen the enamel. Pronamel clinical enamel strength does a really good job of adding that visual protection to the enamel.
Down 10%. So, what do we do? Buy the dip, get rich. Let's dig a little first. Dig, it's me.
As an online student, Carrie wanted me to be involved in the various different programs of involvement graduate students, the communities that you could be a part of. And Carrie actually offered a lot of networking opportunities. So even as an online student, Carrie really embraced it.
So that we don't have to worry about. But the guide does tell us that after winning the make debut, that we should aim to win as many fans over as possible. And to also check our aptitudes, and that energy has no effect on race results. And also to get in a good mood or a great mood before tackling each race. So we're definitely in a great mood now, and well, there's no races to compete in for a while. Not one that we actually have the aptitudes for until the open here. Now they do also tell us to go for higher graded races. So the very first race that we're going to take on here is actually going to be all the way in late December when we take on the Open States.
They're already
Schedule that now.
all
We'll actually
golden and maxed out almost. Hmm. 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 Why question ain't so crazy?
We'll keep going for stuff that has high friendship training.
Even though I didn't do 3 speed, 3 strength.
Tell you that you should prioritize the lower ones versus the higher ones. So it's not telling me that I should prioritize Keys on Black. Instead, it told me that I should just go for ones where there's multiple. That's not to say it's bad advice, but it's okay anyways. Okay, so when it comes to picking races, the guide tells us that we do need to check the style aptitudes and the distance aptitudes, and also the grade of the race. And also, it tells us that we should check our predictions. And that if we have
The predictions be lying, bro. I swear Tasuna is bad at race predictions.
but if we don't have this,
She gotta be,
that we
bro.
instead
She
need to
is.
go and get skills to pick up. So with that in mind, we should be able to race this. And we win it.
So now we're here at the summer training, and I have a question for you. What do you think the guide says about summer training? Fun fact, one of the reasons you're told to bring a friendship card is simply for the fact
I didn't buy
that
any
you should be
skills.
able, in theory,
It's
to
okay.
train all
Well, it should be
summer
okay.
if you use the power cards and bags. Now, going into the summer, I don't have full energy. It's a nice little tidbit there. But if you train where the PAL card's at, you get reduced energy and better stats. Or, well, reduced energy consumption. You get your energy reduced regardless. You also get that reduced failure rate, which I think is also pretty helpful. Now I think it's time that we talk about something that's really important. We're coming up on the Kika Show, which is a very stamina intensive race. It is the stamina check in a lot of Uma's careers, and it is the part where most
Woo!
people see the thing where it says you don't
Good
have
hue.
enough stamina and you need to do more stamina training, or more importantly, you don't have enough guts and you need to do more guts training. This is where the guide for last spurt becomes really, really handy and also probably extremely controversial. Side Games decides to tell you that last spurt is affected by guts, and it's decided by guts, which squeezes out the last little bits of stamina. So you need to comp it either with skills or to increase your guts. You can also increase your wit to conserve some stam on certain courses, but we are told here to train our guts. Now, fortunately, we do have a bit of training on our guts, like a couple little friends there. So we have Asian Flash with a hint, and also Akawa. But we're going to train guts here and get a nice little hint for late surging, which might be helpful. We don't have a recovery skill due to the cards that we were told to bring. And that's a fun little thing. However, we do have two on stamina training to bring up our stamp. Now, we can check ahead of time to see form is good. She might just be a top contender. Well, might just be isn't good enough in my opinion, and I think we should buy a skill. So I think there's only one skill we could buy, and that is Breath of Fresh Air for stamina skill. I'm also going to buy Redshift here because it's Redshift and just an amazing skill. So let's see it. Let's see how this goes. Everything is riding on this race, and we're following probably a slightly questionable guide. It's got good advice. It's also got some things that I think are a little. It could be a little more specific. Probably great for beginners though. This could be great advice for someone just starting out. I think we should be able to clear this career with no problem. All right, we're finally hitting the final stretch. It is the last 1,000 meters, and we've popped our unique. Let's find out if we have enough stamina and if we have enough guts. She's moving up. We should hit Redshift soon. If it rocks, I don't know that we are in position necessarily. She is flying, though. After popping her unique. And there is Redshift. Well,
Who must stand? Pearl, you finally showed up, bro.
I think we win this race. Yeah, and it's by like distance. Holy, undefeated triple crown, by the way. So we have followed all of the machine guide's advice so far, and we are at the end of the URA finale. I think there's only one last thing left to do on our final training turn, and that's to hit guts. And now we are going to buy all of the skills that we get, and then it's time to race. It's just time to go. We have 267,000 fans, and we have followed as much of the advice that we could so far. We've gotten our wit up and our guts up and focused on our speed and power, and I think now it's time to see the fruits of our labor. All right, it's time. And we got a late start. Okay. I thought about buying concentration and just decided not to. She hit multiple skills immediately. I feel like Breath of Fresh Air immediately was a little rough, and she got rushed. Oh my god! I literally did everything that we could to prevent these things from happening. And she got late start and rushed. The guy, it told me everything I needed to do. I don't know why I'm getting punished for it. She's moving up. She's like in the middle of the pack. Friendship pops. It's close, but we also have medium straightaways, which we bought earlier.
That means he lost against Team Zenith. I don't see them.
And we win it. We only lost one race this entire career, and I ran some of the extra races that they told me to do. And that's an A. And 1-star guts. Okay, well, you know how it goes here. 1-star guts. Get this trainer a 1-star guts. I give up. No amount of guides can help me get more 9-star Umas.
Alright.
One bag, infinite possibilities. Kate Spade.
Albion Online has a sandbox MMO RPG in which you write your own story instead of following a laid-out path. Explore up.
Alright, welcome. Today, I've hopped on my friend's account. This isn't my normal account, but he is fully free to play, so doesn't spend any money on the game. Kind of weird, I won't lie, in my opinion, but yeah, this is my friend's free-to-play account. Let me borrow it for this video, and I'm going to try and get an S rank for him. I think his highest is 40.
Man, I wish somebody would
so it's pretty close. But
show me how to get an S rank on my profile.
get him his
That would
S
help.
rank. It's definitely not in your race though. I think, obviously, Taiki is like really good for this, especially since she's mild. So I think I might try that. See if how good he is. Or just take Taiki. Let's run. You want to buy carrots at Umamasume if I don't want to spend too much money. The affordable carrots I've been using lately are right here on Lootbar, the most affordable and safe Umamasume carrots trading platform on the market. Lootbar is 11% cheaper than the official store, and if you're a new user, you can get an extra 10% off or a total of 21% off. The same amount of carrots cost me $69.99, but on Lootbar I only spent $54.70. With a 4.9 score on Trustpilot and tens of thousands of happy reviews, Lootbar is a trusted choice to buy from. If you want to start saving on carrots today, click the link in the description to sign up. If you are in a similar position to my friend at least, where you have like some very decent cards, you should be able to S rank like fairly easily with a bit of luck. But here we are just going to take as much power as we can. I don't know what's up with his bars. I'm gonna make do with that. So yeah, these are the sparks I will use. That's a crazy one. But yeah, let's get started. I think for Taiki she is at 20% in speed, so we might be able to get away with doing 2 speed. 2LB Biko isn't actually that bad. It's just the initial friendship. So we might actually try that. I was not aware that he had that. Oh, actually, okay. I see someone MLB Biko. We could probably just take another wet card. It's not too important. This Knives Nature wet card is actually really Nature Derva one. I'm gonna level up his Magnus Tachyon, since this is a really nice card, especially at MLB. Doesn't have anyone else as a good alternative. He does have 2LB Fine Motion, but she doesn't have a mood effect. So I think this is more ideal. Obviously 3LB Kita, very fortunate. I won't use his TP because he hasn't told me that he wants that. So let's just get started. This ideally should be getting a lot of the energy back from the win training. And so especially if you are doing certain rank runs, or rating runs, I should say, it's important to note that you can't really have both a good humor and have a specific rating run. In this case, in the end, I don't think it'll be a very good team trialer if we do S rank, just because we are solely going to focus on getting the highest rating possible, which means that we do have to subsidize some parts of the build. And then take this one here. I do need Rico to come up.
But this is also can be a guide for you guys on how to get S ranks, fairly specifically making S ranks. Given you have a decent enough deck, at this point in the game, it is still dependent on cards very heavily, and you need pull cards, really, but not only just pull cards, pull good cards. Then we'll take this one to Rico, and nothing decent, so we're just going to rest again. Yes, that being said, you do need decent cards. A lot of people do like to pull the Uma banners. I don't see an issue with it, but then you can't really expect to get high rank runs if you are just pulling Uber banners because star ratings or star levels for Ubers do very little. They really don't matter that much compared to getting MLB cards, for example. We win that pretty easily, and while Sunday gives us a little bit of stats, we can take this. It's pretty nice training, and we do get Rico early, so that is great. We'll get a little bit extra stats with that. So I'll take this here. We may as well get the Unity Cup grading out of the way, and we will take the stamina. We should ideally get speed to max, but that is very RNG dependent. But these sorts of runs, especially if you're free to play, if you spend money, you should be fine. But in these sorts of runs where you're free to play, your deck isn't fully MLB, it is pretty RNG whether or not you get max speed with just 2 cards. Even if it's Kitasan and Rico, it's still up to RNG, like most of the things in the game. But we'll take this option here. A good baseline to go for runs at least, is to see what time you get your first level 4 training facility. Should ideally be getting it no later than the 1st January. I'll take the power here. You should ideally not be getting it no later than that. 1st January on senior year, I should add. I would like to take that. Actually, I will. I won't be greedy. I should just be taking the best, even though it's not too ideal. The wit doesn't have the 20% on it, so the best is still not too bad of an idea. Not to a double, so we'll take the Vigo. We do need to get her and Kitasan's bond up, and we can take this. This is a nice training. Double Rainbow and Vigo. So yes, in this video, I will actually be showing off my skill calculator that I've made. I think it comes in handy in these specific cases where you want to get a
Nice.
high rating if you're going for your first A
Plus
class,
10 on everything.
your
Yes, sir.
first S, or your first S plus even, and you aren't caring about the final build in the end. And we do draw one, but that's fine. So yeah, later on at the skill purchase, I will show it off. It is a little project I have worked on in my spare time, and I'm quite proud of it. It isn't too usable on mobile, and there's nothing really I can do about that. But we do win this pretty easily. We do get a team level up, so that's pretty nice. And I'm hoping that we can get some nice trainings on speed coming soon, because we do need, I'm not going to take the burst, we do need to get that facility up, and we're going to take this. Even though I said that, we do need Unity Cup trainings also, and I guess this is just better. You're going to find a good balance of taking Unity Cup trainings and taking normal, like, rainbows or normal trainings for Bond Up. And that usually just comes with experience of at least playing the Unity Cup scenario. But then we get a good amount of power, a little bit of stamina, and we will take this burst in power, and Tachyon should get her Bond Up in the next 2. So that will be nice. We have nothing that we can actually hit nicely, so I'm just going to take Rico. We're going to take the Wit, because our Stam should be close enough. Now I can kind of explain how the rating goes. So the closer to 600, I think, is the first cutoff where it will exponentially increase the closer you get to the 600 stat, and then the second is the closer you get to the 1200 stat, it'll start exponentially increasing. So if you get to that point where you have, like, say 2 stats near like 500 or 600, and then you have like 2 stats near 1200 and another one near like 9 or like 1,000. That is usually what can make you S rank, from personal experience at least. I'm going to take the bottom option here. We are going to rest after this anyway. It is late.
Business tech that's bold, fresh, and delicious. Get started at easycater.com.
Crypto has opened up so many more doors. Tokenization of real estate on the blockchain is changing it to make it more of a system that is inclusive to everybody. It is empowering individuals to have ownership, to have transparency, and to have a seat at the table.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to see the possibilities all around you. With Capella University's FlexPath format, you can set your own deadlines and keep up with all of life's important moments.
Restless is a front runner skill. Must be Top Gun.
Did a little mess up there, but I don't think our summer camp training is going to be
That
too
would be
good.
alright here
Hence
to
the
win.
feeling. With 2
Yeah.
speed, it's definitely
By
more
10
RNG
links.
dependent,
Sheesh.
but get some like, nice rainbows. No one is a mile. Well, Lucius, why is Taiki on sprint? I do want to know that. Yeah, okay, I'll be moving Taiki unless we get someone else to go on mile. In that case, I probably should have looked why my mile team was X. I'll be on the summer training camp, it is fine. That would have been nice to take, but I was an idiot. It's fine. We can definitely take that though. I hope we get some like wit. Wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the wit. Team B, take the power, and then we take another wit training, and Tachyon should now also give us rainbows, so that is perfect. A little late for that though, but that is sometimes just how the unique up goes. And we'll take this, we'll gamble it, the burst as well. Migraine blues, I would like to, but I'm going to Rico. Let's take the top option. It really doesn't make sense to take the bottom option, and we'll gamble that. And we will take the speed wit. We didn't get fast learner, that's alright. I'm gonna gamble that to double for the unique up, and Haru should soon give us a burst. I would like to take that, but it's also probably better that I don't. I'm going to. Fuki has been very good. If you haven't seen, I think at the time of this recording, the Fuki was the last video that I uploaded. We did get quite a nice build on her. I would just take the bottom option for the wit, and now we can take Rico's. By the way, we have a Discord. I'll leave a link in the description. Join if you'd like to talk about Umamasume or need some help with builds or anything like that. We are usually very, very active in that, so consider joining. Anyway, we have another unique card. I guess somebody did get put onto Mile. Who was it? Agnes Ninja. Oh, no, that was fair. Anyway, yep, they win. That is very nice to see. So now we should ideally see our first level 4 facility if we haven't already. I don't remember. Then we'll take the energy and it'll be like perfect. Yeah. Okay, we don't have our first level 4, but this technically should maybe. It's alright. The raffle was decent. Okay, yeah. So that's our first level 4. It's a little bit late, but it's fine. And we'll just keep on taking rainbows now. We can sacrifice Indica trainings. I will bag that, to be honest, to take any sort of rainbow I can get. It's going to take energy here. I do think it's more beneficial for us to take our rainbows. We are at level 4 training for them, so it is a little bit more high value, and we'll take that with Rika on it and a double. The issue with Taiki, it seems, is that she doesn't get enough fans during her career to warrant her to get the unique level up. Oh, we get a medium C. Okay, if that was on a medium runner, that would have been nice. Or a medium build. But we'll take this here. We are looking very symmetrical for the 3. I'm going to be greedy and wait for that to be on something else. In the end, really, this can be a sprinter. There's no issue with that. It's just probably wouldn't want it to be. But we're going to take this here because it is more stats. We got a team level A. Again, it's on stamina, and I don't want to waste that. We have decently energied up for the summer training camp. So we'll see our last training. Hopefully it's a rainbow on wit. Okay, it is. We do need to see speed a little bit more. I need like a double rainbow, hopefully. And it's worth mentioning, inevitably, if you do keep on running decks like this, which are like 2 speed, 3 wit, on sprinter or milers with like the speed and wit or speed and power growth rates up, you'll probably see an S rank. It is really just a matter of RNG at that point. We take a nice training. We will take this here, absolutely. I need her and Vico, Sun and Vico to get on here, please. Sprint corners though, that is good for us. I will take this just to play it safe, but now we really do need to focus that speed if possible, just because it is not over 1000 currently, and we have only a couple more turns to go. I'll take the speed here. We should get a bit from the race bonus at the end, but I don't know if it's enough. We get Kashimoto. Okay, this is better to take. I do hope we get another burst up soon. Got Team S rank, that is like very late actually, so I'm not sure now on how this will go. We do have 1000 on speed. This is more stats, so we will take it. We get Ignited Spirit or Speed Spirit, so that is actually the better case scenario because it lets that regular yellow skill be cheaper. I really do want to take Rico's last recreation, so I might actually just do it here. Yeah, I'm just going to do it here. Now we only got 1 hit for rushing down, that's fine. We will just slam speed, and then probably wit, seeing if we have enough stats at the end. I need to see what the race brand says. But we still win that. Not convincingly, but we still win it. +9, so I think we should get +14 for race bonus in the URAs. This is more stats, so I'm going to take it. But I do want to hit max speed. We'll see if my brain was working. +14. Alright, perfect. Hopefully it's speed. Yeah, we're going to take that. Now, we should get very close. I guess we'll just take wherever the last burst is and see how that goes. It's +14, plus another 14. Okay, yeah, we will hit max speed. I can't believe we didn't get gears. Yes, which is better. This is technically better anyway. We will max out the speed a little bit, non-optimally, but that is fine. We have enough of stats for everything else, so there is a very possible chance that we hit this S rank. I will need to get the calculator out and see. So we lose 9 here, plus another 5. So, 14 we could have saved on speed, but that is just how it is. Okay, so we have, let me change my coding. So we have max speed, we have that much stamina, 967 power, 95 guts, and 1058 wisdom. Her star level is 3 and her unique is level 2. So off that we get this. Quickly just, there we go. We have a turf at A, B, A, C, G, C, A, B, G. So just like that, we are going to leave everything on here because we do not care about the skills at the very end. I'm not even going to put these uniques because they are generally low value skill point wise, and I'm just going to input everything that I can. So I'll cut until that is done. Right, everything is inputted now. I am just going to add in the extra uniques just in case. Okay, so once we have inputted everything, I'm just going to go to the very top of this, and it says that we will not hit S rank, but this is actually, I forgot to add in the skill points. So we do actually hit the S rank. So I will just go ahead and buy all the skills here. Right-handed, straightaway adept, hesitant front runner, sprint corners, huge lead, plan X, intimidate, stop right there, mile straightaways, mile corners, acceleration, unyielding spirit, sympathy, and ignited spirit. So we have 4 left over. In theory, this is what the optimal skill buying is, not taking into account the aptitude and what it will be used for later. This is just purely to get the best skill rating possible. So let's see if I got my friend his first S rank. And just like that, we did. The calculator was perfect right on that, so I guess I'm smarter than I look. But that will be that for this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my friend for lending me his account so I can show you that S ranking, at least if you purely care about just getting that S rank, is very doable.
I know. You're like, Joey, the Xbox Series S. In
All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Smart.
Can I win a Grand Finale by just maxing out the quick stat? I don't know, but let's find out. Before we move on, instead of me picking which Uma to use, I figured if
At Wells Fargo, we get it. Ella started her business because she loves facades, atriums, green roofs, mezzanines. She's into all of it. What she's not really into is the banking. Luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place. So you can get back to doing the things you love. You're good at business, we're good at business banking. Wells Fargo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
¿Cómo puedo mostrar eso? With the New Balances. No voy a mostrar eso. No voy a mostrar eso. No voy a mostrar eso. No me importa lo que digan, no voy a mostrar eso. No voy a mostrar eso. Miedo al éxito, ¿qué? No voy a mostrar eso. No me van a convencer tampoco. No me van a convencer tampoco. Esta mini mejora tiene que mejorar. ¿Eh? Asustado, ponte del 100%. Esto es re funable lo que me pasó.
siquiera se va a mover la barra, no, no va a pasar. Ni siquiera se va a mover la barra. ¿Sabes por qué? Enterramos al toro. Desde que la JP, desde que la cierre de al máximo, tremendo.
We're a bicycle company, but we try to utilize technology where we can to keep us competitive. Gemini and Google Sheets helps us query our data, find data much faster. It's like having a superpower.
I would do pretty much anything to give Graham and Sigmund the best life possible. So when I heard about Ollie, we had to make the switch. Ollie gives us real, fresh food made for dogs. Graham and Sigmund love mealtime even more than before.
Vamos a pasarnos a la japonesa. Yo digo que da tiempo y da chance de entrenar por lo menos, hacer una run por lo menos en la japonesa. Me dan un momento, voy a colocar la japonesa. Creo que me va a tocar igual configurarla. Creo que me va a tocar configurarla. Sí, en el último escenario, Santiago. Voy a jugar en el último escenario. Aquí tienes atrás, King Halo y Sane Sky. Ahí se ve, ¿verdad? Ahí se ve el juego, ¿verdad? Ahora el tema es que se oiga. Así se oye. Déjame chequear el volumen. Está el volumen ahí, está el volumen ahí. No se oye, ¿verdad? No, creo que no entienda, ¿no? ¿Qué dices tú? Vamos a la japonesa un momento. Ustedes querían ver lo que pasó, Val, y ahora no lo pueden borrar de su memoria. Poner una foto de King Halo después de dejarla con trauma, no sé de qué habla Santiago. No sé de qué habla. ¿Ustedes quieren ver los QLs de la Japón? Les puedo mostrar los QLs de la Japón. Por ejemplo, en la versión japonesa tenemos este QL, que es lo mejor que nos han dado. Ese librito te hace toda la vida más fácil. Todo lo que viene siendo la carrera diaria, la daily versus que no tenemos, el team trials, otra para farmear material que no tenemos, y esto para citas que no tenemos. Solamente le doy este botón
No.
y debe ser una bloquear eso más. Le doy este botón y
one-time text to your number. You can hang up now or stay on the line to continue your call. Welcome to the Claim Status Information Service. If you know your claim number, press 1. If you do not know your claim number, press 2. Please enter your claim number. That selection is invalid. Please enter your claim number. That selection is invalid. Please enter your claim number. You entered 06409. If this is correct, please press 1. If this is incorrect, please press 2. If you know your claim number, press 1. If you do not know, please enter your claim number. You entered 550064009. If this is correct, please press 1. Please enter your full date of birth using 2 digits for month, 2 digits for day, and 4 digits for year. You entered January 21st, 1993. If this is correct, please press 1. The following entry was found matching your criteria. Christopher Williams. If this is correct, please press 1. The status of claim number 550064009 is approved. Starting December 7th, 2025 through January 11th, 2026. To find payment details or other information about your claim, please visit thehartford.com/mybenefits. Live chat assistance is available online. Please hold while we route you to the automated claim payment system. To verify your last benefit payment check's issue date, mailing date, and amount, please press 1. To verify fund transfers to your bank account, please press 2. If you would like to speak to a customer service representative, please press 0. Thank you for calling the Hartford. This is Candace. Am I speaking to Christopher Williams?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you are.
Thank you. How can I help today?
I would just like to know, since my claim is approved, when that will start hitting my account or whatever is supposed to happen next.
Okay. Let me take a look.
The only reason I say that is because I've been out of work since that date that it lists that I went to the hospital. So I'm needing some income.
So, okay, so it looks like it should be hitting your account tomorrow. The payment's released on the 13th, which was yesterday. Since it's going direct deposit, it can take up to 2 business days to reflect in your account. So it looks like it should be in there tomorrow. And I'm seeing 2 payments. So one is paying from December 8th through January 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
And that is for the amount of $2,210.68.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other is paying from January 5 to January 9, and that amount is $552.41.
Okay. And that'll hit my account tomorrow, you said?
Yes, it should be in there tomorrow.
All righty. I appreciate it. That's all I wanted to know. Do you know about what time that'll hit my account, or just check periodically throughout the day?
Let me just check. Typically, direct deposit thing normally kind of go in the morning, but I would just, continue to check throughout the day if you don't see it first thing in the morning.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah. And then let's see here. Are you still currently out of work, or will you be returning?
I am still currently out of work.
Okay, let me get this noted here.
Can you answer me a question? What account is that going to?
Sure, let me see if I can.
I just want to make sure because I got a new card a few months ago and I can't remember if I put in my new information for my card into y'all system. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
Let me double check here.
Because if I put it in at my job, right? Because I work at UPS. If I put it in at my job, does it?
It'd be separate. So you have to do it with us as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I see here, you submitted this direct deposit information on December 29th, and
of this year?
Of 2025.
Okay. Then it's probably the correct card then. Because I got this new card in like September, I believe.
Okay. So it's account number ending in 0215.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that's correct. Hold on. Let me look right quick. I'm just gonna open up my banking app right quick.
Sure.
So, oh, I forgot I'm daggone. I'm a streamer as well. I forgot I'm Guys, I gotta go for a bit. Be back in a little while. But I got some things to do. I'll see y'all in a bit. Y'all take it easy now.